Hello, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this is something a little bit different, something that I haven't done before, and that's basically sit down and discuss. I've done it loads of times actually before. That was a complete and utter lie. But I wanted to give my final ever thoughts on Football Manager 24. Um, and I want to give the pros and cons. I'm going to start off with the cons, and then I'm going to end in the pros. And then tomorrow, around this same time tomorrow, I will be given my overall thoughts on the new up and coming FM26 game. I will then also, if you haven't seen the video I've done earlier on this week, on the 6th of October, on Monday, I released a video explaining what I'm going to be doing on the Football Manager as well. So if you could go over there, give that a watch, as well as the other game that I'm going to be doing as well on WWE 2K25 on the other channel as well, giving you an overall view of everything that I'm doing on all the channels. So make sure you go and check that out. But I'm going to give my overall first. But first, for the final ever time, this is so out of date as well. But I found it. This is the intro for Around the World. So out of date. We went to 2 clubs after that. I'm going to delete that just in case I accidentally try and play that again. Just what was going through my mind when I didn't even delete that from before. Anyway, so cons. I really felt that the 2D imagery was fine. The 3D was the issue that I found with that was there were times it was so not believable. Goalkeepers have always been an issue on Football Manager. Has always been they're not an issue, and it's still an issue on Football Manager 24. And I felt like that it wasn't realistic enough. You can only go a certain amount, but it wasn't realistic enough for me to go, yes, that's about right. I think that also the cons that you have as well is there's not enough, and I want to see more. Not enough politics at a football club, and the reason why I say that is if you watch football in real life, you know player power has become a thing now where it's taken over clubs. I haven't had since the start of the game a player's come and handed me a transfer request, that's fine. But I haven't had that many AWOL players or players that have just gone missing. I think I've had one. And that was when I was doing international management on a personal save. He just didn't turn up. And I was like, okay, that's a thing for international management. That as well, I wanted to see more of that. Contracts were a little bit easier to negotiate. You had the manager contracts. I feel like people don't care enough for it. But for me, like if I want to do a round the world save or people want to do a journeyman, that type of thing, when you're going to do a manager save, you want to have, and you also want to see as well, which I didn't like, that your overall career earnings. So you can see exactly what you've been doing, how much you've earned from what contracts of where you can probably look back and see you've earned this from this club, you did this, you signed this contract, you got this. That type of thing. And there wasn't any of that. And I feel like that's missing a trick there as well. And I just felt like it was a bit too predictable in the style of play. You either played a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. If you played 5 at the back, and when we did the Deportivo La Coruña save, we broke the game to do 5 at the back. I mean, broke it. At one point, when I say we broke it, in our first season at Deportivo La Coruña, was we signed Fermin Torres, and we signed Lamine Yamal on loan. And Lamine Yamal on the game went on to go and do absolutely marvellous things in that save. But then when you do a Spanish save, you have to try. There's certain leagues where it just feels impossible if you don't get the extra help. When I say extra help, when I did the round the world save or did the South Shields, we had goals, and if we hit those goals, we could speed up the process. Where if you can't do that in the theoretical game, there's got to be ways of trying to balance things out a little bit. But I think that's just like real life as well. You're not going to be able to do that. I also really enjoyed FM24 as well. I think because for me it was really the first. It was the first game. Was it FM23 or FM24, FM23? I'm going to have a look because I can't remember which one was which. But one of them gave me a massive start into doing this Football Manager stuff. So I'm going to go on my playlist. I'm going to scroll down. And then I started doing FM23 was my Reading save. I started in the middle of that and I did a Reading save at the end of FM23, which then led into the England beta save. And then I did a Reading save with 99 episodes on that. So these are the saves I've done. If you want to go back and watch them, please do, because all of these were so much fun. I did the beta save for FM24, where I'm better than Gareth Southgate trying to win the World Cup. We then did the Reading save, rebuilding Reading. From zero, from the points deduction they had to winning the Champions League and do that. And then we did Deportivo La Coruña, which was fucking amazing. The small club like that, looking about the history of that and trying to rebuild it and bringing it back to Giants. And the series was called Back to Giants, and then winning the league by only losing one game that season, and that was the second to last game of the season. We had to go nearly unbeaten to try and win the league. It was unbelievable. We did Unemployed to Goats challenge as well, where it was a bit like what we've done with Around the World, where we started off with nothing and then got all the way to try and win everything. And then we did the FM24 save of Park to Prem, where we took over South Johnson, who turned into the director of football and told us who to sign, who we could sign, who we weren't allowed to sign, what formations. I had zero control only over exactly what we could do on the football pitch, which then turned into a really fun save. It was one of my longest saves I've ever done. 163 episodes I did with that. And then with this one as well, which is also one of my longest, the Unemployed to Goat was 175. This one that we're doing now, I've just finished Around the World, I think is just short of what I was doing with that as well. So we had a lot of great couple of Around the Worlds, few club signings that we did specific, and it was just a lot of fun. And I'm going to go with pros. I just loved it. People said it was broken. People said it wasn't right. It was too predictable in formations. Wonder kids were easier to sign. That type of thing. And I have to say yes. But when you're doing like a South Shield save, and you can pick these young players, the youth players, or you can get these loan signings, and it works. Like we had, what the fuck was his name? I'm going to look because I think I dedicated an episode after him. The fuck was he called? I can see his picture. He got 70 goals. I can't fucking remember now. I'm now going to Google. Who was his fucking name? South Shields FC. Paul Blackett. That's him. What a fucking beautiful man he was. Finding him at South Shields, and he got over 80-something goals in 3 seasons. Picking up those type of players and then having him all the way to the Championship, which then he retired. No, he didn't retire. He wanted to leave, and I then was able to keep him on. And then he turned into a coach, and I had that. And then he retired and just disappeared from the game. And it was really annoying when he disappeared altogether from that. But There was just a lot of great memories, and Football Manager, this save as well, along with others, was able to, when I was doing the Indonesia part of the Around the World, I was talking to Indonesian fans. They were going, oh, that's my club. They only live a certain part away from me. Doing the Greek save, I had messages on TikTok and stuff going, I've done Greek save. It's a lot of fun. I've been to we did China, we did Indonesia, we did Australia, we did Mexico, we did Greece, South Africa, and we won't be doing those countries again. We will be going to other countries, and the countries we've never stepped foot into. If we do Around the World save again in the future, but it was a lot of fun, and I will always be thankful and grateful for Football Manager 24 for giving me a platform to do this. I hope that I get recognized as a content creator for them in the future. I don't get the views that a lot of these people do. I understand that. I am very much the bottom of the bottom for this, but I just love it, and it helps my. And another thing as well, and I don't know if a lot of people will agree with this, but for me, Football Manager helps with my mental health, like massively. I will sit here, and when I do the recordings, or if I'm doing a personal save, and I come on my computer and I turn the game on, and then the game comes on, and I'm sat there, and I've got a whole transfer window and the pre-season of working out of what tactics I want to do, how to do things, way to go. You go into your own little world, as in you believe that you're the actual manager of doing it. And I visualize what exactly I would do if I was the manager in real life, and how I would do things, and how tactically I would change things, and what players I would like to keep and get rid of, and all of those type of things. I just love it. I think it's absolutely phenomenal game. I love FC26 or FC or football or EAFC, whatever you want to call it. I like that, but the Football Manager just makes me switch to a whole different universe of when I want to do things, and I will forever be grateful for everything for Football Manager. I will keep doing content creating for as long as I want to, because I just fucking love it. It helps me get out of a space, and I just have fun. And that's the way life should be. You just have fun. Right, I'm going to end it there. When I come back tomorrow, I'm going to give my all overall thoughts of everything that we've seen so far for FM26. And then we're going to go from there. But we're Love with Care, Money's with Mark. You guys have been amazing, and thank you for everything you've done for FM24. Let's make FM26 the best yet.